I get a lot of questions from investors who are thinking about short-term rental, and it's always the same questions. The first question they inevitably ask is, where should we do short-term or nightly rental? Well, I've been investing and managing my own nightly rental properties for about a dozen years now, and I just can't get outside of Branson, and the reason is it just makes so much sense. Mainly for three reasons. The first reason is our average home price is still relatively low. It just makes sense. I don't have to pay $1 million for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo, which gives me more opportunity to make a higher return on investment. The second reason is our average per night rate for our nightly rentals is pretty high. So it still makes sense to the customer, but it makes a lot more sense to me as an investor. And the third reason is that we have one of the longest nightly rental seasons, one of the longest tourism seasons out there. So Christmas is off the hook in Branson. I mean, we're talking the day after Halloween, November 1st, everything's decorated, all of the shows have switched to Christmas shows. It's a magical time. So what are some other reasons why people come to Branson? What do you do there? Well, believe it or not, we have 9 million visitors a year to Branson. We have an airport, we have Silver Dollar City theme park, we have Table Rock Lake, which is one of the most beautiful lakes in the country, theaters, tons of outdoor activities. In addition to that, Branson is driving distance to over half of America. Why short-term or nightly rentals versus long-term rentals? I'll give you a couple of reasons now, but I strongly encourage you to pick up the book. You can order on Amazon. It's Myths, Management, and Mastery of Vacation Rentals. It's written by Jeremy Worley, Jerami, and that's my husband. And the reason why he put that book together is because every new vacation rental investor has the same set of questions. And the big one is why short-term versus long-term. In a good year for me, I would say pretty average, I get about 200 nights a year that I book. That's peak season and our shoulder seasons. Our peak season is going to be May 15th through August 15th, and then the other sides of that are our shoulder seasons. So about 200 nights total. So what does that mean? That means I don't have someone occupying my property 365 days out of the year. So there's less wear and tear. They're only here for 2 days to a week, usually maximum, which means that I'm having way less wear and tear on my property. And they're usually out eating dinner out, shopping, going to shows, doing things that are not inside the property. And then finally, I get all my money ahead of time. They don't get access to the property until they've made their final payment, so I'm never chasing anyone around for my rent. So do we have regulations in Branson regarding short-term rentals? Yes, 100% we do. And so you need to get with an agent who understands what areas you can do short-term rentals in, because you can't just get on realtor.com and start searching for Lakeview houses and then put it on VRBO or Airbnb. There are specific regulations. There are neighborhoods that you can do nightly rentals in. You do not want to make this significant of an investment without understanding where you can do these. Can I manage my own property if I live out of state? Absolutely you can. That doesn't mean you have to, but you can, and I'm going to tell you how. What you need in place is your power team. Your power team is your boots on the ground here in Branson. That's your cleaning person. Look, your cleaning team is one of the most vital people on your power team. My cleaning team, I would do anything for, because I know that they're gonna go pick up a light bulb for a specific refrigerator for me, but I also treat them really well. Your handyman person is going to be a great asset to you. That's going to be the person who does anything from a really high light bulb or a fire alarm that needs a battery replaced to fixing a cabinet door. You need your plumber, you need your electrician, and that's about it. I rarely go to my properties anymore because I have such a great power team. I know property managers who manage multiple properties from other owners who live out of state. Now, if you don't want to manage your own property, that's okay, because your agent will help connect you with a national property management or a local property management. So how do I know what to buy? Do I buy a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, or do I buy a 9-bedroom, 9-bathroom? I'll tell you what a lot of people do is they dip their toe in the water. They try it out and then they see, oh hey, I'm making some pretty good return on investment, and they realize that the name of the game is heads and beds. The more heads you can fit in your property, the more potential income. So I started out with a 4-bedroom, and now all I own are larger lodges, and it's because it's more bang for my buck. It gives me more time to do other things rather than just manage properties. So there's not a wrong place that you can start out. They all rent. That's been my experience. That's my client's experience. They all rent. It just depends on what your comfort level is. So if you found a couple of properties that you really love, how do you decide which one makes more sense? What I do is we crunch numbers. We look at the worst case scenario. What if I only rent out 100 nights out of the year? And what if I have an expense that looks like this? So essentially we take the potential income, the potential expenses, including your debt service, and I put it into a worksheet and it spits out what your return on investment is. So there's a lot of different strategies, but I found this one to be the best because people tend to get emotionally involved whenever they really find a property that they love. And whenever we put it into the spreadsheet, and they go, oh, okay, well actually this one makes a whole lot more sense. And in this particular development, prices are going up, and in this development, prices have stayed stagnant. So that's where your agent will really come into play to help you strategically make the smartest decision for you. And your strategy may not be to just make the best return on investment. Your strategy may be, well, hey, I'd really like to have a lake home in Branson, Missouri, and I'd like for it to maybe pay for itself, and that's it. And that's okay too, but your agent will help you with that. The last thing I want to leave you with is, how do you purchase these properties? Well, let's talk about money a little bit. Most of these properties you're going to need commercial financing for. A lot of these condos are considered non-warrantable, which means that your standard loan will not be able to finance a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom at Holiday Hills. So you need to get in contact with a list of good commercial lenders that can lend you on great nightly rentals. Should I do cash? Well, my answer is, how much do you want to leverage the cash that you have? Do you want to use $100,000 to buy 1 condo, or do you want to use $100,000 to buy 5 condos? So again, it's strategy. Talk with me about that. I'm happy to help.